Hello, everybody. Welcome to a special episode of Chasing Collectibles Catchup. I'm Tyler,
I'm Tim.
I'm Lauren.
and I don't know if you guys have been keeping track, but this is actually our 20th episode. We have done 20 of these throughout 2022. It does
Wow.
not feel that way, but
Yeah.
we've been trucking along, and this is also a special holiday episode where we'll be reflecting on the year and everything that we've done, the good, the bad, the ugly, all of it. No holds bar. Everything revealed. Everything on the table.
If we can remember.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I was thinking one of the things I wanted to talk about was like some highlights from the shows, but I remember someone was asking me about a show and I was just like, was this Morganton? Was it Lincolnton? Was it this show? I'm like, some of them just like, you know, they're
Yeah,
all
they
great
just
and they
sort
all
of
have unique things about them, but you're like, where was I? Where
what
were we?
one was it? Yeah. You get all you, it's like basically like touring. It's like where did we have fun? In what city did we where were we?
Yeah. Yeah. Who
Yeah.
were we next to? And
And it's been a lot like that too when it comes to planning the shows and getting them all you know planned out and on a calendar. It's like what weekend is this show, and do we have another show? When's our next show coming up, and which show is that, and
yeah.
Is
where are
it
we going?
is it two tables? Is it one table?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it far? Is it 1 hour drive, 2 hour drive? Are we staying over? Yeah.
Yeah. How are we
So
gonna eat?
yeah, who's
We
paying
have
for
to sell
dinner?
a couple of books to eat.
Yeah. Well, so I thought we'd start off with we started doing shows in August. Our first one was the Lincolnton Be a Hero show, I believe. And so what would you guys say? It could be a specific show, it could just be something that happened at a show. What's a highlight from our new venture of doing shows?
Well, I don't know that it was a highlight, but Lincolnton was our first show, and that was really good because we were the only ones that had comics pretty much.
Or
So
a
people
lot of
there were looking
comics.
for comic books were spending their money with us, and it was just great. Here we are,
Mhm.
just like, wow, this convention thing, this it's working.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then I don't remember the next show or the next show after that, but it was like a punch in the gut. It's like, oh, dang. Because now everybody that was in the room was also selling comic books. So there was a lot more competition. So it was like, man,
Right.
I don't know about this. This is not good this time.
Yeah.
And
I
we were
remember.
and we were the new guys. We
Yeah.
were the
Yeah.
new guys. So, I'm sure a lot of the people who were, buying from their regular vendors were just like, oh, those guys, they might have some cool stuff, but I know for sure the people I typically deal with
Yeah.
will have what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a matter of,
From my
developing
from what I
relationships and
remember with that Lincolnton show, it was a lot of multimedia stuff. And then those who did have comics, it was maybe like 3 or 4 boxes, and we went in with our like a normal show setup. So it was just like because it was our first one, so we're just like, okay, bam. And like you said, you go to other shows and it's like, oh, we're one of many that have a full show stock. Um, so
Hmm.
definitely was different. And we've started to build some of that, I guess, clientele that are coming to us and we see at many shows. So we're slowly but surely getting people like that.
Yep. And really, when we're doing this, we just have to sell one big thing to make it a happy day. It
Hmm.
doesn't have to be a multiple amount of stuff. It just, if we can sell one book that's, at least pays for the table, then hey, it's gravy.
Yeah.
but a lot of times it is great though, just to kind of, as people are shopping and they're looking through your things and you're just talking and you're just discussing with them the things that you have in common with them, with
Yeah.
superheroes and the sci-fi stuff, and you guys, we're just kind of like clicking, and it's at that point you're not doing a job. It's like you're doing what you love to do.
Yeah.
And that's always like, I think that's probably one of my favorite parts of doing this, and you know, what I've learned.
Yeah, I think I agree
Yeah, I
because
mean
we've all.
it's
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
it's definitely a lot of work,
Mhm.
It's the front end and the back end. The middle section, not so much. It's more fun uh
Mhm.
when we're just hanging out, for 6 to 7 hours, and then the work begins again
Yeah.
at the end.
Yeah.
But we've gotten it down pretty good to a science, when
Hmm.
we pack up and everything, we're
We've
getting
gone
really
faster.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, just to touch on what Tim was saying, we've all talked about how one thing we miss about Nickel Spot was just like talking to people and like just being at the store and being at a convention. It's like a mobile store. I mean, where you're setting up shop, and for 8 hours or however long the show is, you get to just talk with people and sell books, and maybe they buy something from me, maybe they don't. Ideally, the first one. But you also get to talk to people. And Tim, we were talking about this before we started recording, that you also get to see a lot of vendors that are similar because a lot of people, we do the same shows, we're in the same area, and so you get to make friends with vendors, some of them of which we've had on this show, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yep.
I tell you, it's it that's another really good point to bring up, is when I know everyone at the show, you know, they're there for a good time, and to, you know, at the end of the day, make a little bit of money. But you know, when you're really having like fun with some of the other vendors, and just kind of like, you know, poking at each other, that's a great time. You know, I don't know if you remember, Lauren. There was that one guy dressed up as Boba Fett at one of the shows,
Hmm.
and you know, we made that little that little post online that we were sending him to Chris to assassinate him. You know, that we hired an assassin to take out the competition, and it was to send to Chris over at Beardy Weirdy and
Hmm.
Larry Allen. You know, and the
Yep.
two of them thought it was, you know, they found it to be really funny, and Chris was like, you know, you guys want some? You come on, bring on your assassin. I'll take the assassin. I'll take you guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, we
Yeah.
really have a good time and a good relationship with those guys. You know, they're loads of fun.
Yeah.
So
And
so are other vendors.
no, no, everyone's generally great. And I would say one more thing that I really enjoy from cons in general, usually is at least one time per show this happens. There's obviously a lot of older people that are there that have money, that are there to like buy stuff for their collection. But you also at every show you tend to see like a kid, kid range from like kid age, like a teenager or whatever, and people like getting exposed to comic books. And whenever we can, Lauren, I know you've done this. You give stuff away to kids, and
Hmm.
or we give good deals. If someone's like, I picked up 15 books and I got $10, we're just like, here, take it for 10. It's just, I don't know. It's moments like that that are nice because we're trying to keep the comic hobby going, and it's those little
Hmm.
things that would keep somebody, buying comics in the future.
Yeah.
That's right. That's what it's all about, keeping that thing going into the future.
Yeah.
Getting kids to read, getting kids to be excited about it. Um, Hopefully they're reading the Silver Age and the Bronze Age stuff, because today's comics are not like they used to be.
Yeah. Well, there's
I mean,
also,
there's no rating anymore. It's all free for all. You can say what you want, do what you want in the books. Um, just keep pushing those silvers and the bronze,
Well,
the
they still,
copper.
there's good modern stuff.
yeah,
Not for
it
not for
just
a 10-year-old or 8-year-old.
I think
it
they
it
got a few things. They just got, I think they've got some specific things made for kids, although then you don't see them as
yeah,
often.
yeah,
Yeah.
you know, and they do have, like, you know, ratings as far as mature and teenage and then general on them. It's but it really depends. I mean, you know, what they're what they're into and everything. You
Hmm.
know, there's a lot of good stuff from the 80s, a lot of good stuff in the 90s, a lot of good stuff that's, that's really current. It's just a matter of, what they're into and, what they're looking for. It
Yeah.
it could be a really good read for them. And if it
Hmm.
works for them, that's awesome. If we have it and they want it and we can just, hook them up.
Yep.
Well,
So
something.
all these videos that we've done, man, they've been really cool. We've had some pretty awesome guests. I think one of the ones that stand out for me, there's two really, is the guy from New York City that was doing his Spider-Man movie.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah, Jeremy. Yeah.
Jeremy and Aaron Lepresti was really cool. Um, you know, uh, your artist friend, I can't remember her name right now.
Oh yeah, yeah, Lizzie.
This
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, she was
Hmm.
really cool. They've all been really cool. It's just you think you're only going to get a certain amount of time with these people, and it goes on for maybe an hour and a half, and it doesn't
Yeah.
even seem like, it doesn't even seem that long, and it's really cool that they are generous with their time.
Yeah. No,
Mhm.
we've had a lot of fun, and it's hard to believe it's been 20. I mean, the Aaron Lopresti one is our only one that we've done that was a two-parter because we talked to him for I think it was an hour and a half, maybe even an hour and 45 minutes.
Hmm.
So I was like, we're getting two episodes out of this one. Um, but yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you think about all the people we've talked to, and all of them have been great. So I don't want anyone being like, oh, if we don't mention you, it's because you were terrible. No, we've loved every single one.
Yeah.
We've talked to Karen Whitfield with Batgirl. We've talked to, I mean, so many people. Rick Froge with Comics Price Guide was pretty cool with all his like knowledge with the with like he had with Stan Lee and all his. I mean, he's got. I talked to him for like an hour one time, just being like, "Hey, when are we doing the interview?" And then it turned into an hour conversation about like how I used to be back in the day.
Mhm.
you know.
I liked a lot of the vendors, a lot of, um, and their experiences and how they had, gotten started and the things that they have to go through, to find more books in order to bring to these shows. It makes for some pretty interesting stories a lot of times.
Hmm. And there's a lot of folks. I mean, you look at Larry, you look at we had Shelton on for our 10th episode that have been doing this for years. And it's kind of cool picking their brains about how was it when you first started, how is it now, you know?
Yep. And Chris has been on. Beardy Weirdy's been on. He was
Hmm.
great.
Yeah.
Uh,
Larry,
Yeah, we've
Larry.
had Larry on twice.
Hmm.
yep.
I think
Yeah. It's
I think the
it's
only
been a
the only time I've had to
cool
censor
year.
one. I'm sorry.
I said it's been a cool year for sure.
Yeah, and
All the
I only
different
had to
stuff that
censor
we've
one
done.
episode. I think Lizzie dropped our only F-bomb. She was our first woman on the show, and she dropped our first F-bomb. So it's like
Was she the first or was she the second? Who
I
who came
think
first, Batgirl or her?
I think it was Lizzie. I think it was back to back. I'll have to look at it, but I know we had one of them on, and then the one came on the next week, so we doubled our our amount of women we've had on the show. So
Yep. We
um,
need to get some really cool guests this coming year. We got to get Aaron back, I think,
mhm.
because he's got his God of Wraith of God, I think it is.
Yep, yep. I think
Um,
that's been out now.
yep, it's out, so we need to catch up with him, and I want to see if he can hook us up with some people too, like some of the other artists that are out there working. That'd be really cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
I think guys like, Rick Leonardi would be really cool to have on, creator of Spider-Man 2099.
mhm.
That'd be we've seen him at shows a couple times, and that'd be a
There's
big one.
that one guy that we saw at the convention, the Heroes Convention. Yeah, the Action Comics number
Oh yeah, yeah.
one, and all
Hmm.
those detectives and all those early
Yeah,
books.
yeah, there's a lot of people that when what's cool about this is that we've kind of only scratched the surface. Like there's so many people locally that we can talk to still. We've got some ideas, and I've kind of mentioned it to some people here and there. We haven't done this as a weekly thing. Obviously there's 20 episodes. There's 54 week or 52 weeks in a year. Obviously we haven't done this weekly. And I think the philosophy has been if there's something going on, if we have somebody, we'll do it. But there's plenty of people that we're going to do. I think we've talked about doing a Valentine's Day episode with Chris um, and his girlfriend Sarah, who have been together for a very long time and do shows together. So we're going to have them on, I think, in February. We got some other ideas going around. So there's definitely lots of people that we have not talked to that we're definitely going to have on.
Yeah, Nick was great too.
Yeah, we'd
Yeah,
have him on again. There's lots of people that we'd love to have on again.
Absolutely.
yeah.
Um, and speaking of the future, so 2023, uh, what's it looking like as of now for shows? Is the tour going to continue?
Oh yeah. I would say it's gonna not only continue, but we've added quite a few shows onto our list. Um, you know, which is to be announced. We haven't, I haven't started announcing or posting anything yet. What our years is looking up to be because I'm still kind of reaching out to people and putting more shows together. But it's definitely people are going to be seeing us more.
I'm sorry, guys.
and
It's stuck with us now.
it, don't be surprised if you guys aren't seeing us in other states.
Hmm.
I've got my eye on you, Virginia.
Hmm. I hear we're going to
Georgia.
Alaska,
Oh, uh,
and we're driving.
yeah.
The
I
only
don't think the
difference is
chaser
that
will make it to Alaska.
they use their comics for heat. So, yeah, it'll be $130 for that particular issue, ma'am. You're gonna do what? All right,
All right,
great.
do your
You
thing.
do what you want. It's yours now. I don't care.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. We just supply the paper, ma'am.
yeah.
I just point out to her if you bring ones, you probably have more paper in all those ones than you do in this one book. So I'm just saying, if you want to burn your money, go ahead.
So I'm glad to know I've had a blast doing shows, and sounds like we're gonna do even more.
Yep, we're going to be doing shows, um, more conventions, and we are looking to branch out more into the world of sales. Okay,
Yeah.
so Chasing Collectibles is looking to start doing live streaming shows. I mean, sales, and starting next month, we'll probably be joining eBay. That's another platform that we'll be using.
Nice.
So,
Yep.
so
Yep.
And
We'll fill that store up real good.
we got lots of cool stuff.
so we'll
And
still be on Facebook. We'll still have our Facebook store.
yeah, and I know in terms of videos and all that, we a few months ago started putting stuff on podcast format, and I'll be honest, some school stuff started getting the best of me, and I did not get them all posted. So I hope over the next couple of weeks to get everything all cut up. All 20 episodes will be on Spotify for those of you that want to listen to it. Uh, I don't know if you guys remember, there was a guy who like said like, "Oh, I listened to your show," and he wanted to listen. He came to I think Clemens from Atlanta, and he was like, "Oh, I'll listen to your show on Spotify on the way home." So that's definitely important. So we're gonna uh, get that all updated. And a couple weeks ago, my friend Brooks, who is on Twitter, does a lot of film Twitter stuff. Him and I did a video about the future of the DC universe, which now is basically pointless because of all the announcements they've been making about Henry Cavill no longer being Superman and all this stuff. But I think him and I are going to keep on doing videos and doing movie reviews and stuff like that to keep on talking about movies and figuring out what the heck is going on with the cinema. So
Hmm.
that should be fun.
Yeah, I think recently they also announced there will not be another Black Adam movie.
Yeah, it seems like they're just going to start from scratch. So we shall
Yeah.
see.
Yes.
Um, but I want us to close out. So this is a very special holiday. Yeah, we're in the holiday season. Also, my birthday's Friday, um, and I was hoping we could talk about what are some of our favorite holiday traditions. Any movies that we particularly like watching every year that are like staples that we have to watch this every year, or we have to do this every year. What are some good holiday traditions?
Well, the movies for sure. Uh, Home Alone,
Yeah, we just
Home
watched that
Alone,
last night, actually. Yeah.
Home Alone 2,
Hmm.
It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah.
Of course, your animated, your Rudolph, the Red-Nosed
Hmm.
Reindeer, Santa
All
Claus is
those.
coming to town.
Yep. All the Rankin Bass stop motion ones are really good.
Yeah, yeah. And what else is we just watched um well, it's been a while, but the Die Hard series are Christmas movies for those that don't know.
That's a hot take. See, some people disagree. They refuse to call that a Christmas movie.
Yeah. Well, that's okay.
You can
Just
be
go back
wrong.
and watch it. What else? Major ones. Gosh, I just had it in my head too, and now it just left. It's like gone. But anyway, yeah. That I mean, obviously, setting up the tree, getting the
Yeah,
house decorated all Christmassy is great.
yeah.
I didn't do the outside this time around. I just wasn't feeling it. I was like,
Hmm.
what a lot of work.
It's like setting up for a show. The
Yeah.
fun part is having it up, but then the setup and the breakdown. I saw Tim and I are neighbors. I saw Tim setting up outside your house the other day, working away. It looks good.
Yeah, this is my favorite time of the year, and definitely without a shadow of a doubt, my favorite movie for this time of the year is Muppets Christmas Carol.
We watched that the other day. That's a great one.
Yep,
And
and
that might
then
be
there's
my
a
favorite Christmas Carol rendition of all. Like, there's a lot. There's so many Christmas Carol movies. That one might be my favorite.
yeah, and then there's also Gremlins.
I was hoping. Yes, I was gonna say that's one of my favorite. I love Gremlins.
Elf.
Elf is
Great,
Elf's another good
great,
one.
great flick.
Hmm.
and then you know what? A lot of people don't mention it, but Fred Claus.
I don't
I
think I've
mean,
seen
Fred
that one.
Claus is so funny.
Fred Claus?
Uh-huh.
Never heard of it.
Oh,
There's a really I know there's a lot of movies that are like tradition, like all like the Rankin Bass. They're older. They're kind of like staples. Home Alone, not super old, but it's older. A newer
Oh,
Christmas
A
movie.
Christmas Story also. That just popped in
Oh
my head.
yes, Christmas
Christmas
Story.
Story.
That's on loop constantly. I think on TBS they put that on 24/7 on Christmas. Um, but the last year or the year before, an animated movie came out on Netflix called Klaus. That was really, really good. That I'd recommend watching. Is very kind of a different origin to Santa Claus that I think was really well done. So I'd recommend if you need a new Christmas movie to watch. I love that movie. I think we'll watch that at some point this week. Obviously,
um,
cookies and all that. I love good Christmas cookies and all the sweets that are associated with it.
Oh yeah.
oh, oh man, I tell you, this time of the year, I'm definitely packing on the weight.
Yep.
You got to
This
deliver all
house
those
is
toys.
this house is full of cookies. I'm telling you right now, it's full of cookies. Christmas crack too. It's great.
Mm. Um, my wife makes these things sometimes where you take a pretzel and then you put an M&M in it, and then you put a Hershey Kiss on it, and then you bake it, and it looks like a reindeer,
Mm-hmm.
and it's really good.
You can do the pretzel with a Rolo, throw it in
Mm.
the oven and let it melt. Oh, it's great.
You know what I saw? I usually don't do variants, but I have to. For this one, there's for a Batman Superman comic that's coming out. They have a variant cover where Superman and Paul McCartney are singing together.
Mm-hmm. Yep, get
Which,
yourself a couple of those because those might go up in value. You never know. It's like that
the
Spider-Man and Eminem cover.
yeah,
Stupid,
but
but
even
it's
though it's a
big
pretty,
money.
even though it's a simple song, I love Paul McCartney's, simply having a wonderful Christmas time. It's very simple, but that's one of my favorite Christmas songs.
Yep, that's a great one.
Yeah.
I can do like Trans-Siberian Orchestra, all day long. It's just this time of the year, it's so much go, go, go. It's you have to almost force yourself to kind of just sit back for a little bit and just kind of take it all in and,
Mhm.
you know, just
Yeah,
relax.
no, I think you're right about that. You think about, the as you learn in The Grinch Who Stole Christmas, that there's all the commercialization of it and the gifts and all that, which is great. It's good to give stuff to other people, but it's also important. Let's get a little sappy on here on Chasing Collectibles Catch-Up. That it's all about who you giving those gifts to. It's your family, who you're around, and all that stuff. It's important. And I think we kind of forget about that. It's so busy. We all have jobs. We all have all this stuff, and it's like, oh, I got to get all these gifts. But it's like, hey, it's nice to just sit around and be like, oh, who am I actually around in this moment?
How many viewers did we just lose?
I got too sappy. I'm sorry. Uh, the
I'm
real meaning of Christmas is to buy comics, only comics. It doesn't matter who you're with, just buy stuff.
That's
Yeah,
right.
Commercialism.
and
That's
most
it.
important, of
Bye.
course, most important is buy comics from Chasing Collectibles.
Yes. These certain because we were all wearing, we were all had our Christmas sweaters on the last show. So, you can do both. You can be cheery and also get your Christmas gifts from us. Uh, um, we won't have another video until 2023. Will you guys be staying up for New Year's? Do you guys stay up past midnight for that? Or I know, Tim, you gotta be careful with your dog not to give it food so it doesn't turn into a gremlin. Um,
Yeah,
but will
my,
you be up
my
past
little
midnight?
gizmo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right, Gizmo.
I'm usually able to stay up, watch the ball drop, but I
Yeah.
don't go out because I just don't trust people.
Yeah.
Um, there's a bunch of idiots out there that think they can do great things when they're drunk, and I'm not going to be a part of
Yeah.
their
Chicanery.
yeah. But yeah, I usually stay up,
I
and
told
it's our anniversary is on January 1st, so
Oh, that's awesome.
it's easy to remember.
Yeah. Happy New Year. Turn to your wife. Happy anniversary.
Hmm.
yeah,
Perfect.
another year down.
Yeah.
Yep.
I once heard that
Made
the
it.
longer I heard the longer you stay up on New Year's Eve, the more good luck you have the next year. I don't know if that's right or not, but
Yeah, but that's weird because New Year's Eve ends at midnight. So
oh yeah,
so
that's
you
true.
can't stay up much past that uh on New Year's Eve because
Hmm.
New Year's Eve is over once that clock strikes 12:01 because now it's
Uh-uh.
New Year's Day. You
Tim,
see.
when does it stop? When does it stop? You can't feed gremlins after midnight. When is after midnight stop?
11:59
No, I'm
p.m.
saying it's so wait, you can't feed Gizmo breakfast.
Not at 12 o'clock.
Well, no, I get, but after midnight, okay, it's after midnight, it's 12:01
Yeah,
a.m. I get that. When does it stop being
you're,
after midnight? Because in theory, 6 a.m. is after midnight.
Hmm. Good point.
guys. That's
Look, Tim's like grasping. He's like, "Oh my gosh, somebody help me!"
I've always wondered
Yeah,
that. My dad and I watched Gremlins a few months ago, and I was like, Dad, when is it after midnight? When does that stop? I get it,
is there
12:01, 2, 3, but can maybe when the sun rises, is that after midnight? Is it done? Is it the window between midnight and when the
this
sun's
this is a question that should never be asked, Tyler.
I just
It
thought,
should
the people
no,
want to know.
no, don't no, you guys you start thinking this kind of stuff, and next thing you know, like there's smoke coming from our heads as we're trying to process it.
Let me get a piece of paper down. I can figure this out. I need a clock. Well, um, this has been fun, and it's been a great year. And I know all of us here at Chasing Collectibles just want to wish everybody happy holidays, Merry Christmas, happy Kwanzaa, happy Hanukkah,
Hanukkah.
whatever whatever you celebrate. Even if you don't celebrate, I hope everyone just has a good season next couple of weeks and a good end to your 2022.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Guys, got anything else for the good people?
Stay safe, guys. And we're totally looking forward to seeing all of you next year.
Indeed.
See you guys in 2023 and keep chasing those collectibles. Bye, guys.
Yay! Come!